Eight, nine. Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Amsterdam Talk Season 3, Episode 9. And tonight I have with me a special guest, critically acclaimed author, Miss Jennifer Payne. How you doing, Miss Payne?
Good. How are you?
I am doing well. I am doing well. Let me take that down so you can hear the feedback.
Yes.
Um, so before we get started, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh man, where do I begin? um, as you know, I'm an author now. But outside of being an author, I work in advertising. I
Okay.
work on I had diversity, equity, and inclusion. So I'm all about um, getting Black people, getting people of color more into leadership roles in advertising because
Mhm.
it's still not that many of us. I'm aggressive with that. I work with. It's interesting that you all are part of the HBCU network because
Mhm.
that's my go-to. I go to a lot of the HBCUs, trying to solicit um, students, recent graduates, alumni, to come on over and join us on the advertising side. Looking for senior leadership roles and creative things of that nature. So that's my day job, and outside of that, I just write. And right now, I'm kind of like on a mini tour promoting the book.
Okay.
Mhm.
So since you said you like to reach out to we are your go-to HBCU. So I'm gonna give you before we get into what you're here for, I'm gonna give you 3 to 5 minutes because I know somebody's watching that's probably a recent graduate or maybe actually in the market and trying to get to a senior level position as you stated. So here's your
Mhm.
floor form.
Oh, okay.
So
So
you can speak to him right now. You can speak.
the agency I work for is TBWA Shy Day. I work in the Los Angeles office because we have a TBWA Shy Day New York and Los Angeles, but TBWA is around the world. We are in 92 countries. We are a part of the Omnicom group, and Omnicom is our global holding company. So we have a conglomerate of agencies within Omnicom. But I would just speak on TBWA Shy Day LA. We currently have about 15 open positions. So if someone goes to TBWA Shy Day LA careers, that link will pop up for them to click on. And we're looking for roles across the gamut from accounts to social media, production, creative, operations, you name it. So, those of you who are in HR, currently looking for a human resources director, you name it. If you're in creative, we got that too. If you're in production, we have that too. Digital, we have that too. So, we currently have about 15 open roles. Um, I'll say this, I'll put this out there, especially for my Black people, my Black and brown people of color. If you are interested in a role and you apply online, and you just want that extra set of eyeballs, somebody to help you get that foot in the door, you can email me directly, which is Jennifer.Payne, Payne, at TBWA which is CHIAT.com. So, and I'm in advertising, which is different than a little different than the marketing agencies, but I'm in advertising. So if they're interested in advertising, let me know.
Well, that sounds like a whole a whole mouthful you said right there. But it's good to know that you're looking out for brown people, people of color, to
Mhm,
actually bring them over to the advertising side and the marketing side. So
mhm.
okay, so let's get to why you're here then.
Yes.
Why why you're here. So my first question is, a lot of people don't know like what's the difference between an actual writer and an author.
Well, there are people who author their books and they don't necessarily write them because maybe they have another writer, or a
Okay.
ghostwriter. Um, it was different for me. I am the writer, I am the author. Now I do have a team of editors, and that is
Okay.
important. That is important for people to review your work for sentence structure and flow and tone to make sure that you're using the same proper tense throughout your book. Because as you're writing and you're getting into, the whole writing aspect of it, sometimes you kind of mess up on that present tense, past tense, and like for me, um, this book was a little therapeutic for me.
Mm-hmm.
There are some truths within this book. So I was busy, I'm just flowing. I needed that editor to come in to kind of tighten that up. But yes, I am the writer and the author. There are, like I said, there are some authors out there that have an amazing idea for a story, but they just can't quite put the thoughts on paper. So they need a writer to help them. They and some of them get ghost writers to help them along. So that's pretty much the difference.
Okay, so for those who don't know, she's the author of I'm Single, Not Sorry. Do you have any other books while I start lying on here? Saying this
No,
is-
that's my first book, but there's definitely more books to come.
okay, so here we have this book, I'm Single, Not Sorry. It's about a young woman named Ava,
Hmm.
Ava Amore, which the owner of the HBCU Lounge Network name is Ava,
Oh,
which I believe Tanya spoke to.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so her name is Ava as well.
Hmm.
So this book is it's kind of a heartwarming story and a George story about a woman discovering her true self. So
Yep.
when you capture it like
Hmm.
I'm single, I'm not sorry, and anybody that watched the promo today for this actual show know that I use women that were just kind of frustrated of being single. We're talking about actually having friends, other women friends who are actually in relationships, couldn't find out buddies to hang out with because they were always doing something with their partner. But
Hmm.
here in this story, Ava has friends that we have in the book. I can't remember all their names, but Ava's actually she stood strong all her life. She's achieving her dreams. She's
Hmm.
achieved her dreams. She's met a few contenders that are cluelessly, likable. It's crazy. So
Yeah,
when people read this book,
yeah.
is this based on your life?
I'll put it like this: there are little truths in there.
Mm-hmm.
There are little truths. So when you look at my life, me versus Ava, um, yes, I am a single woman. I'm in advertising. Um, I have a child, which he's not a child. He's a grown man. He'll be 22 next month. Ava doesn't have any children. That's
Okay.
that's our difference. There is a very much a similarity between myself and Ava. Like Ava's reason for telling or telling the story, the main character of this book, was more because Ava's tired of the societal pressures. You know what I mean? From fans, from family, from society, um, you know, telling you when you should be married or coming to you and asking that question, oh, why aren't you married? And Ava doesn't have children in the book. So it's when are you going to have children? When are you going to get married? And, the whole goal, Ava's whole message is that live your life on your terms and
Mm-hmm.
don't live through the expectations of others. If you want to be married and that's what you're looking for, fine. Um, be in the search for that soulmate, even though I feel, from a woman's side, the man should find that woman, and not the
Right.
other way around. That's just me, in my opinion, that's just,
Mm-hmm.
but to me, it's whatever you want to do, whatever makes you happy. If you want to be single, be single. If you're married, that's fine. If you're divorced, it's okay. Live your life on your terms and whatever makes you happy. There are some people out here who don't want to have children, but they have those societal and family pressures of, you need to at least have one child. How come you don't have children yet? Some people don't want to, and then some people, it enters that that sensitivity phase of, um you don't know the struggles of what people are going through. There are people who are trying to have children and can't have children. So then you have
Right.
that constant question or nagging of, when are you going to have kids? When are you going to have kids? And you don't want to tell all your business, tell the whole world, well, actually, I've been trying for years and I can't. So it's kind of like that hidden message of, and it's not so hidden, of mind your business and quit asking me those questions. So that's where we are. That's where Ava is. So,
well, that sounds like that question of when are you having kids, that sounds like every single adult when they go for Thanksgiving or Christmas.
yes,
There's that
yes,
aunt, there's that uncle, there's that girl. So when you plan on sitting down and having some babies?
yep. Or when you plan on when y'all gonna get hitched, when you gonna get married. Maybe marriage isn't in my cards, and it's okay. So that's what the book is really about. I really want women, um, young, middle age, and older, I should say, to stop putting so much pressure on themselves to live up to societal expectations, societal norms. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about for me. It's whatever makes you happy. And I had a conversation with a few people this year, and I said, you know what? With all due respect, I have a lot of friends and family who are married, and marriage is no fairy tale. Marriage is work. So, while you're out here pushing and promoting marriage and trying to push your beliefs on everybody, just make sure that your own house is in order.
Right.
You know what I
So
mean? Make
yeah,
sure your marriage is okay.
I totally get what you're saying, but this is the question that I raised in your statement.
Mm-hmm.
What is society knows anymore? No one knows
That
norms
and you
anymore.
know what? And that is true. It's like things are so, when you look at the way the world has changed, even in the last 5 to 7 years,
Right.
you know what I mean? It's like there was something I posted on my LinkedIn where a woman mentioned, can we please normalize, a change in career in your 40s or 50s? Can we please normalize starting a new career in your 40s and 50s? Because the shift, the focus has been so much on the younger generation, millennials at that time.
Mm-hmm.
It was all about promoting, 30 under 30, under 30 this and under 30 that. And so this woman came on and posted on LinkedIn, and I can't quite quote everything she was saying, but that was the gist of it. And I
Mm-hmm.
reshared her post, and I said, can we please normalize, let's normalize our own normalities. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
not the societal normalities, because then you go back to that question of what is even normal in society today?
Right.
Everyone's normal looks different, way
Yeah, true.
different. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Which is true, and this is one of the things that not sticks out in your book, is part of what Ava, turns to dating apps. Now, picture this: you just said 7 to 8 years ago. Now we're in 2022. Dating apps been out since around 05, 06.
Mhm.
And when the internet first made its big boom with social media. So back in 05, 06, if you met someone on the internet, people thought you were crazy.
Yeah.
Now today it's
Yeah.
normal.
Yep. Yep.
What was your number one rule? Number one rule from your parents: do not get in a stranger's car. What do we do now? We call Uber, we call Lyft.
Yep. Yep.
So everything that you were told has set out to be changed now in 2022, because like you said, the woman said a career change in 30s and 40s.
Hmm.
You're dating in your 30s and 40s, you don't have time to go out. So what do you turn to? You turn to the POF,
Dating
the
apps.
tenders, yeah, you turn to the apps,
Yep.
and you meet people. You go on Facebook. You
Hmm.
have groups of people, a Facebook group, a travel group where people just meet up with each other, don't know each other
Travel.
from nothing, and go
Yep.
hang out.
Yep. Yep.
So to that's not no well, it's normal now because I'm used to it. But you
Yep.
ask a person 06, 07, that's normal. It's like, no, you crazy. You have men meeting women for say, I'm where I'm at, you're where you're at. We met, I jump on a plane and meet your book sign tomorrow. That's normal now.
Hmm. I
Like,
just saw someone's comment and it said, people can't even define dating. Woo! The black marvel. That's a whole nother discussion. That's a whole
Well, you
nother
can open it
discussion.
up then.
I don't even, you know, that is so true. The Black Marvel. And thank you for sharing that comment, because I'm dating right now, right?
Okay.
And I have a belief of just let life happen. Don't
Right.
put too much pressure on it. Dating is exactly that, dating, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is, whether that be you're dating one person, two people, three people, whatever you're doing, what it is that communication is the foundation for everything. You need
Right.
to communicate so that we're all on the same page, and that is the problem. So people sometimes are dating, but they're really in these like undocumented relationships. There's a breakdown in communication. People are
Mm-hmm.
upset, and so and so cheated on me, and it's like, well, wait a minute, aren't we just dating? What is dating? Let's define dating, because there's a difference between dating and having a committed relationship. But again, it goes back to communication. Black Marvel said comprehensible communication. Absolutely. There's a complete breakdown in communication. So we talk a little bit about that in the book as well. You
Mm-hmm.
know, just communicating, and I'm in that same boat right now where I'm dating, but communication is a must for me. If we don't have communication, we don't have anything. Like I need to know from the beginning that you are a person who is willing to communicate, and you can communicate effectively, because without that, nothing even works.
Which is true.
Hmm.
And which is true. So which it brings back to your book, where as though Ava's trying to find a meaningful relationship. At this point, and it's just you just said about communication. Um, some people, I don't know why, but this is like, oh, this is cliche. If I tell you I don't want a relationship, why are you trying to force me into something that I don't want? If this is what you want, why can't you just say, hey, we're not on the same page? Then let me
Hmm.
just go this way. And what I saw on Twitter earlier, somebody said, it tripped me out. Somebody said, well, I treat dating like grocery shopping. Once I put you in the cart, that means I'm getting ready to purchase you. Like, meaning I got you. I said, now I'm thinking to myself, I'm saying, like, hold up. It's been plenty of times I got to the front of the aisle and I took that shit out my cart because I realized I didn't want it anymore.
Yes,
So
yes,
that's what you
and
gotta
that's what
understand. Just because I
Mhm.
no, go ahead, you got it.
No, I was going to say that's my definition of dating as well. But again, boils down to communication. And let's just make sure that we have the same definition of dating. If you have a different definition of dating, that's fine, so be it. But we need to have a mutual understanding of what this dating looks like to one another, to to so that you'll know whether or not you're gonna purchase me. Because you might want to put me back in the aisle, you know what I mean? Or you might just want
I,
to leave me in the buggy and push the buggy to the side somewhere.
I mean, you never know. Things may come up. I mean, you might have forgot your money, so you got to push the cart to the side. The line's been too long where you just like, nah, I'm just leaving.
Yeah.
I seen this Asian lady do that the other day. She was just like, nah, it's taking too long. She used to do her whole stuff to the side. It's just like, I'm gone.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yeah.
things like this happen. But back to you as being an author, like so who inspired you? You have the Nikki Giovanni's, the Terry McMillans, the
Mm.
Maya Angelou's. Who's inspired you to take this journey?
Definitely, I am a huge fan of Terry McMillan since Waiting to
Okay.
Excel. Since Waiting to Excel,
Okay.
and I've watched the movie a million times. But yeah, Terry McMillan is a big inspiration. Maya Angelou as well. You're dropping these names, these people who have dropped gems in my life. Um, Maya Angelou has been such a just an inspiration and focus by through her determination and her craft, her ability, her ability to express herself and write is just amazing. It's on another level. You know what I mean? Of how she
Mm-hmm.
can, you know, take words and be so inspiring to people in their lives, no matter where they are. Maya Angelou can almost like change, which she set the tone to be able to change your mood, at least for me. Um, Now, music is also a big inspiration to me. In my book, I have QR codes to various playlists
Yes, I
that
was going
go
to
to
get to that.
chapters. Music is mood for me. Like, I've been through some things in life, just like I'm sure everybody else who's on this call,
Hmm.
life is what it is. And it's been music that has gotten me through. I put on some Mary J. Woo! Yeah,
Hold up, hold
Mary
up,
J
hold up.
done got me through it.
You know, it's two types of Mary J's. The one when she's happy and the one when she's upset.
But
You
you know what? I felt all of it because I have had all of Mary's emotions. I've been upset. I've been mad. I've been down. I've been depressed. I've been super happy. I've been, in my bag. I've been not in my bag. And every album of Mary I can relate to at some point in time in my life. That's why you gotta love Mary. Mary, she just tells it like it is, and it's real. It's life.
I mean, most people say when Mary's going through something, you know you're getting her
Woo!
best work.
Yes, yes, that is true.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. I remember the Q codes because I was scanning them like, wow, this, and it popped straight up the title to the songs,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
to the actual songs that you had in the code. What was I
Yeah.
listening to? I forgot what I was listening to, but I was hitting all the Q codes like, wow, this is amazing. First time I've ever seen Q codes inside of a book where it actually just takes you. So that is actually definitely fascinating as well. So people understand the moods that you were going through, well, that the person, the character in the book is going through at that time.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Mm,
like I said, for me as the author, the writer, um, a lot of my sentiment, my mood, writing this book was very therapeutic for me.
okay,
Um, Music helped me through a lot of situations. Music helped me to write. So
right.
I had to, I was trying to figure out, I was like, how can I get the reader to be able to feel my emotions, feel Ava emotions, feel the other characters, Nina, Hannah, Sydney, Lita in the book, feel their emotions. And I said, QR codes. QR codes.
Right.
It was some during, I don't know if you saw that um, commercial during the Super Bowl, this year's Super Bowl. I forgot what company it was. Their commercial, all it was a QR code that popped up on the screen.
Mm,
And I remember, everybody watches Super Bowl and you watch those commercials. And I
right.
sat there and I was like, what is this? And of course, all of us got out our phones and, aimed our phone towards the TV. And I can't remember what company it was, but it was the most genius idea. And of course, they had it during halftime. After the halftime and the most popular time of when all the commercials come on. And it was just clickbait. It was clickbait, but I can't remember
Right.
the name of the company, but you can Google it. But I thought I was like, that is genius. And so that actually inspired me to go ahead and throw those QR codes in the book.
I'm
Because I
actually
mean,
looking to
QR
see.
codes have been around for a long time. But now they're like really truly making their way back again. They're becoming popular again.
The actual commercial was made by Coinbase. It was
Yes. Yep.
Coinbase who did it.
Yep.
It was Coinbase who did it, and it came right on after that uh, phenomenal halftime show.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yep.
that was,
And I just remember
whew,
it was a group of us sitting in the living room, and what they did was the QR code popped up, and it was like a bouncing QR code, and we were sitting there going, "What is that?" And I got out my phone just as well as everybody else, And it's
right,
funny because we don't know what it is. It could have been something crazy that could have just totally messed our phones up, and like I ain't gonna say like dummies, but like humans, we all like, well, what is it?
yeah,
We all click on
yeah.
it.
I mean, it's just like our counterpart in horror movies. You hear noise, you want to go check it out. Like instead of going out and say, wait, no, I'm gonna QR it right now, see what it is.
Yeah.
And I've seen it, but I seen the commercial, but I was on my way to the bathroom, so I didn't have an opportunity to hit the Q code.
Oh
Dr.
yeah.
Dre and Eminem and 50 Cent and Mary J had my bladder. I had to hold that for 20 minutes.
Oh
I
no.
didn't want to miss
Yes.
anything. And I
Yes.
didn't forget Snoop and Kendrick. as
Mm-hmm.
well. But you know, while you were writing this book, what part of the book did you have the hardest time writing?
You know what? It was, I wouldn't say the hardest time. Well, I guess it was more of a struggle. There's a section in the book, a character, Hannah, and
Hmm.
it talks about interracial dating. And Hannah is Ava's one of Ava's best friends. Ava and her other best friends are black. Hannah is white. And Hannah had been dating this black guy for a year, nearly a year, but she had not told any of her other friends, including Ava. And then finally, when it came
Okay.
around to meet this guy, they were like, "Well, wow, Hannah, you've been dating him for almost a year, and you didn't tell us. Like, what's up with that?" And she says, "Well, I know how you all feel about black men dating white women, and
Hmm.
Hannah didn't want to have that discussion at the time. You know what I mean? She
Okay.
didn't feel like hearing about it, so to speak." And Ava and the rest of her friends, their comment was, they were taken aback by that. They're like, "Well, Hannah, we always joking. We always talk smack to one another. Like, I can't believe you took that so seriously. And so Hannah said, "Well, after you make a joke 3, 4 times, is it really a joke anymore?
True.
Or is that your true sentiment?"
Right.
So it opened up a discussion where at this point in time, Ava is the closest person to Hannah. She's known Hannah the longest. And it
Hmm.
really, really touched her. It went deep because now it's opened up conversations. Fast forward, post the book, and me kind of going on these mini tours for the book. I hold what we call these conversations, and we
Okay.
talk about the book and excerpts from the book, and we talk about relationships. That's why I'm in Detroit right now, because I have one scheduled tomorrow. And we talk about interracial dating and how people feel. I said, are people upset? When I say people, black women,
Right.
are you upset that black men date white women? Or is it that when black men date white women, and not all, let me be clear, that
Okay.
they seem to put the black women down in the process? Meaning, I and other people have heard when black men date white women, they'll say, "Well, this is why I don't date black women. They don't, they got too much mouth. They wear weave. This, all this other stuff that puts black women down." And so we open up that conversation, but then also we talk about, again, what my role is in real life. I had diversity, equity, inclusion. um we talk about that, again, communication. And that was the reason why I put this in the book. Being a more diverse and inclusive society, and being able to sit down, whether it be your friends, your family, your coworkers, your colleagues, and to have that real conversation on how you really feel.
Right.
uh,
Now, with I'm listening. I'm listening to you.
no, that was, yeah, that was a, go
Oh,
ahead.
now I was going to say, now with the character Hannah, is that something you done interracial, or is this something that some has experience that you done, or is there someone that you know that gave you this experience to write Hannah like that?
Yeah, it's happened in my life. Yeah.
Okay.
So
And this is true how you depicted Hannah, like you couldn't tell your friends, or was that just something you just said, I'm just going to put
yeah,
in here
it's
like
it's
that?
it's it's pretty much that Hannah piece is a true story. And I'm sorry, to get back to your question, that was the struggle on it. That was the
Okay.
struggle. Um, because I remember one of my editors saying to me, "You're going too deep into this subject," and she didn't really feel like it was that deep. And I
Right.
said, "No, it is that deep, because it happens all the time." I said, whether it's a black man dating a white woman, or a white man dating a black woman, or any other race, you know, one race dating outside, their race, you know what I mean? these types of discussions happen. These types of
Right.
conversations, these types of comments are made on the daily basis. It's not just black and white, it's all racist. Like
Right.
I said, these types of discussions and conversations are being had. So it was a struggle with my editor at the time
Okay.
because she felt like I was going too deep into it. She felt like, oh, I don't, it's not that serious. And I said, no, actually it is, because it's truly a lived experience.
Okay. So at your book speakings, and when you speak of that, does anyone say basically I found these attractions because how I grew up, my location,
Yep.
because I grew out in suburbia as a black man, and this is all I went around were white women, or a white woman says I grew up in this type of area and this is all I was around were black men, or deported man say I was deployed over in China so long that
Hmm.
I met an Asian woman.
Yep. Oh yeah. I'm originally from Detroit, and I should have known Detroit was gonna bring me fire. Um, yes, I get an array of that. Is put it like this: that chapter, that
Hmm.
discussion, that excerpt from the book is a very hot topic
Okay.
during the conversations. We actually had a gentleman at my last Detroit read, which was back in August. There was a
Hmm.
black guy who stood up and said, somebody said something. One of the women said something in the audience, and a black guy stood up and said, see, that's what we talking about. That's why we date white women. I said, oh man, here we go. Yeah, it gets thick. Put it like that. It gets real thick. But I mean,
Mm.
that's that's the goal.
Right.
I get my degree is in communications. I studied and became, I'm certified in leadership communications. I always say a lot of the issues that we have just as humans, it wouldn't be so much of an issue if we just communicated.
Right.
And how you communicate is a big difference too. You know what I
Right.
mean? You can't just come talking to me crazy. How you communicate is the big deal. But if we just all sat down and really truly and effectively communicated with respect, that a lot of the issues we have, we wouldn't have. I honestly believe we wouldn't have these issues. So.
Well, that's something we have in common too, because I have a bachelor's degree in communication, mass media track.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm not certified anything. I just have a
Yeah.
bachelor's degree in communication. So
Mm-hmm.
that was that. So you just talked about the most important part, and you said it digs deep in and at your readings about Hannah, and you're like the third person I had on from Detroit. I don't everybody's from Detroit that comes on the show.
Oh,
Um
that's what's
and
up.
they were, I think I wish Ava was here, but I think they were from the east side. They were from the
Okay.
east side. I think they were from the east side, something like that, because they were talking to me about Joy Road and
Oh, yeah, that's
the
where I'm
yeah.
from, Joy Road. Yeah, that's where I'm from.
Okay. Yeah, I told them I was gonna come to Detroit and take a picture out in front of the McDonald's and just go back home.
Ah,
The murder Mac. Go
oh my goodness.
go back home. So they said it was a murder Mac and it was a murder KFC or something like that. They was telling me something about
Oh
a
my
Kentucky
goodness.
Fried
I
Chicken.
don't know why Detroit gets this such a rap. Like I'm like people when I moved to LA and I say I'm from Detroit, and then I've had people literally say, "Wow, you survived Detroit." And I'm going, what do you what impression do you have of Detroit? I said, yeah,
Mm,
I survived it. I walked the streets, you know what I mean? And I'm not,
right,
you know what I mean? I wasn't claiming a certain set, or that wasn't my background. And I was like, I don't know what the impression is. Hilarious to me, but when you only see the negative imagery of a certain city or a certain
right.
state, that's all other people who are from the outside, that's all they can, you know what I mean? That's all they have. So I get it, but I'm like, oh my God, no, Detroit is so much more than that. Um,
Yeah,
but I'll just tell you a little more about the book. Um, a lot of people read the title, I'm Single, Not Sorry, and
mhm,
they have the perception of, oh, okay, here's this single woman's book, male bashing book. and it's so totally opposite. I've had married people read it.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, my editor who read it, and she thoroughly enjoyed it, as she told me. Um, she she said it took her back
Mm-hmm.
to her days of both single and in her earlier years of being married. She said it took her back to some very happy times, whatever that means. I don't know what that means for her, you know. But it's something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
For give people to think about whether you're single or married, because again, two of the best friends in the book are married, um, and they you get a little bit of their life journey through marriage. We talk about, like I said, interracial dating. We talk about infidelity. We talk about
Mm-hmm.
infertility. Um, I tackle a little bit of the prime issues that people face in relationships in that book. Infertility is a big one as well, even though that wasn't my situation or Ava's situation. I
Mm-hmm.
do know a lot of people who are dealing, women who are dealing with that infertility issue.
Okay.
And they feel, and a lot of women who are dealing with that or who have dealt with that, they felt less than a woman. And so I'm not going to give away the book, but in that
Mm-hmm.
chapter, that woman's husband stands up and stands by her side and supportive of her, and he's like, you are a whole woman, you are not less than, and we have
Right.
other options. So I've had people who've read that, and literally people have come to me and thanked me, because women thought that they were just less than a woman because they could not bear a child for whatever reason.
Right. And this is one of your reviews. This said this is an excellent read for single women, especially as it will make them understand that they are not alone in the classic struggles of career, family, and childbearing. That's what one of your reviews say. I look up everything on
Oh
everything.
wow, because
So
I was gonna say I didn't read that review. Where'd you read?
that was on Amazon, and that was 3 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. Wow. Let
That
me
was
let me
on
go back
Amazon.
to Amazon then. I haven't seen that one.
Yes, they gave you 4 stars on. They gave you 4 stars on that one. Another one said it was wonderfully written, and it was able to keep my mind intrigued enough to keep me wanting more. Hopefully, this author, Miss Payne, will continue to write more books, as I love to know what happens to Ava in the long run. So, my question is, will there be a sequel to this book?
Yep, it definitely will. At first, I didn't know, and the way I ended the book, where it could have been a sequel or maybe not, but
Mm-hmm.
in having these conversations, these book reads in different locations that I am now, is made me make a definite yes. Like, okay, yep, I'm gonna go ahead and do a sequel to I'm Single Not Sorry. I don't know what that title will be yet, but I'm definitely going to go ahead and do it because people wanted to know, okay, what ultimately happened, where does Ava go now, or even what happened with Hannah, because I'm gonna give this little part away. Hannah's boyfriend, who was a black guy, proposed to Hannah in the book. So people
Mm-hmm.
wanted to know, did Hannah get married? What happened? They want to know what happened with the rest of the characters. So I said, okay, yep, I'll do a sequel.
But that was my question though, because I was going to ask you, would you do a spinoff on a side character, and which one would you pick? It sounds like you're leaning towards Hannah.
Nope, not leaning towards Hannah. Not no. For those who have read the book, there's a character, Sydney, in the book.
Okay.
Sydney is one that definitely, if you go to Sydney's story, that one, I want her to be that spinoff.
Well, Mike said, call your next book, call it "I'm Alone but Not Lonely." Hey, but
Or me,
we
yeah,
we had a
I'm
question before.
alone but not lonely. I get that. I get
Yeah, we
that.
had a question before that. They said, "Who do you want to play Ava in the movie?"
You know who I thought about? I I love Megan Good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think a big part of it too happens to be what she just um went through, even though Ava was never married.
Right.
I just think that Megan brings that flair, but also Sanaa Lathan.
Okay.
Um, I think Sanaa is amazing. I don't know. There are so many amazing actresses now that fit that Ava character. I got to
Okay.
really take a deep dive, but right off the top of my head was Megan Good and Sanaa.
Okay.
Yeah.
That works. I mean, if you get that far, I gotta have a part in this movie too. I just
I
need a
know,
bit
right?
part.
I'm up here. I'm putting it out into the universe. I'm like, come on, Megan, come on, Sanaa.
Yeah, I just want a bit. I just want a
Putting it
bit
out in the
part.
universe.
I could work at the grill. I could work at one of the restaurants as a waiter.
Right.
Just put me in the movie.
You
Give
and
me
me both.
so much credit on it. Just like, hey, can I take your order? I'm good with that.
Yes. So, but I
Mm,
mean, I've gotten that on every stop that I've made for this little mini tour. I've gotten that question where people have asked, "Are you going to turn this into a series?"
it sounds like it could be a series. I mean, as far as everything I've seen and I've read through the book, it like you said, it gives me vibes of Waiting to Exhale, but it's only with one person. It's not speaking as that movie with Terry Miller spoke to four women. I see her friends, but it's focusing on this one piece of this woman who's well-rounded, career-driven, and now she's like like you said, society norms have taken its toll now to say, I gotta get married, I gotta do this, I have to do this, I have to do this.
Yeah.
But as I'm looking at your book and I'm stating this, I gotta do this. Where does it say you have to do this? It doesn't say you have to do this at all. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't say it. I mean, society puts this on us. As we talked about it earlier. Um, there was a post that said, you should have this by your 25. And some of the millionaires in this world or the most successful people in this world didn't get where they're at to their 40s, didn't get to where they're at in their 50s. Like, who's to say when this timetable is? They say, oh, you should have a house by the time you're 25, 30. No, what's wrong with me getting a house when I'm 40? What's wrong with me getting a house when I'm 45? What's wrong with me purchasing a house when I'm 50?
Yeah. Yeah.
Some people don't want to be
Want to purchase a
homeowners.
house? I was. So let me tell you, I used to be a homeowner, and
Right,
now let me tell you something. When my light bulb go off, I enjoy calling maintenance. When my light bulb
right,
go out, I don't want to do nothing. Call maintenance. You know what I mean? Some people, and there are ways, and people would talk about the tax advantages and things of that nature.
right.
Well, if you own a business, if you have a company, there are ways of writing that stuff off. I do it. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? So I actually have a greater tax advantage renting in my apartment than I do with home ownership. That's a whole nother conversation. But some people, and I had to kind of jump on you with that, piggyback on you with that. Some people don't want to own a home. I know I don't.
I
I don't want to lift a finger. I don't want to mow a lawn. I don't want to do nothing. I want to call maintenance. That's it.
I I own one. So whenever something breaks, I'm like, God damn, how much this gonna cost me? Now I remember the days when I could call maintenance or I could call my landlord and he'd be like, I'm coming to fix it. And I tell him I'm withholding rent till you come fix it.
Mm.
Congratulations, Mr. You bought a house at 58. It's never too late. Now, far as cutting the grass, I wouldn't mind cutting the grass, but I got this big hill in front of my house. So I get the neighborhood man that just want a couple dollars and change to indulge in his favors.
Right.
So I just pay him to do it.
Right.
So I pay, he do his service, I give him money, he go do whatever he do with that. But that's just what I do. But um there's no rules to this. Like, you got to be married, you got to have kids. Now, I will say this: there's no rules to it. But some people, me per se, I don't have any children. But if I could have did it, I would have wanted to do it early. So now I'm in my 40s. They're grown. I could be done and over with it.
Mm-hmm.
Not starting in my 40s where I'm 60 years old and they like, uh, whose grandfather is that? And somebody's
Yeah.
like, oh, that's my dad. Like, because I just had this conversation with my homeboy down in Jamaica, and
Mm-hmm.
he was talking about it. He was like, my daughter's 10 and he's 40. He like, I'm the old parent in the classroom. But with his son just went to college. He's like, I'm the young one in the classroom. I'm like, so that's the difference between them. They're 10 years apart.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
I mean, that's with my son. I had my son at 22.
okay,
So, and he'll be 22 next month,
right,
and that's my little buddy, you know.
right.
Um, and so I had got that question over the years. Are you going to have more children? No, no. My son was the birth control pill, because when I had him and raising my son, love him to death, but woof, woof,
Mm,
no, no, no. So,
mm,
and that's my choice, and everybody would
right,
tell me over the years, I mean, come on, you got to have one. Don't make him the only child, because I'm an only child.
right.
So don't make him the only child. You know how? No, he's fine. He's fine. Just wait. But it's funny. My son is the type of person. I know my son is going to have a lot of. He likes a big family, so he will have more than one child. I hope he waits until a little more later. A little later, but he
Right.
will have more than one child, and that's fine for me. You know.
I,
But
I
if
totally
people want
understand.
to fast forward and go to the last chapter in the book, where Ava has her aha moment.
Hmm.
Her and her best friends are sitting down in her house, and they're talking and reminiscing back on the days before and stuff like that, and they have some funny moments and funny conversations. But Ava has that aha moment with herself of, you know what, life is all about what I make it and what I want, and it doesn't matter
Hmm.
what anybody else thinks, because I'm the only one that has to live this life, me and me
And
only.
that's the thing. People don't get it.
Yeah.
You live for others. And Nicki Minaj said on earlier, stop buying stuff to show off for people on social media.
Yep.
You're living for others. Live for yourself.
Yep. And oh, it's interesting you brought up that social media. Being living in LA, and being in the industry that I'm in,
Mm,
I've worked in entertainment and stuff like that. I try to I mentor to young girls. Used to go into the schools over the years for a long time, and I tell them all the time, don't believe the hype. Don't
right.
believe what you see on TV. Definitely don't believe what you see on social media. It's all entertainment. It's clickbait. It's clickbait. It's to get you to buy this, wear that, basically buy it, go see this movie. You know what I'm saying? It's clickbait. And
Yes.
a lot of the things that we put on social media is staged,
Yeah.
very staged. So that's another thing. Social media is a gift and curse. Don't get me wrong. I love social media for the good it has done. But I say a lot of the stuff that, we put on social media is staged. So be careful with that. While you're trying to impress and live up to those quote unquote societal norms, or, what you think is, the way of the world or whatever. And it's like, it really ain't even real.
It's not. It's all a
Yeah.
facade. It's all a
Yep.
facade. On social media, everybody's rich and everybody's kids are good.
Right.
No, knowing your rent's due, your kids are bad as hell. They stressing you out. Like that's is because I mean, people forget.
Yeah.
When you posting and you're doing this, somebody actually knows you.
Yes.
It's just like, nah, this ain't really going on in your life, and so people got to remember that somebody knows you,
Hmm.
and it's just that. And I know the other day, personal, my brother was doing something on live, and my mother chopped on his live, and she called him out, and he just hung his live right up.
That's
It's
funny.
like,
That's funny.
and I asked him about it. I said, I heard you got caught on live. And he was like, yeah, yeah, man, I know. She said, I said, told him, I said, yo, it's facades, man. It is totally facade what you see.
Yeah.
Go meet these people. Somebody might have $1,000 in they hand. It might just be pocket money, but at the same time, it could be income tax time.
Right.
you
Right.
never know.
Right.
You the way I know when it's income tax time is when I start seeing a lot of paper plates on the street. Once I start seeing a lot of paper plates on the street, I'm like, okay, it must be income tax time.
Oh my goodness, that's funny. You said the paper place. Yeah, it is. And then some people, and not to put it out there like all people are just living a lie on social media. Some people truly
Some
use
people
social
aren't.
media to um to show their comedic side. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's for fun.
Right.
I know, like in my bio on my Instagram page, I have on there, I'm just here for giggles. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like in what I do in the world, my real job, my day
Right.
job, leading diversity, equity, inclusion is not always an easy mental space to be in.
It's not.
Okay. I have to deal with the world like everybody else does.
Mm-hmm.
I also have to go into work every day and try to take care of other people on how they feel about what's going on in the world today.
Right.
So that is my daily job every day. I'm not even going to say 5 days a week, 7 days a week. Someone's letting me know that there's not enough diversity. They don't feel included.
Right.
There's not enough equity or equality. And it's my job to try to make that, to make everyone feel included.
Right.
Everyone feel like they are important. That's tough mentally. So
Very
for
tough.
me, I go to social media and I go to laugh.
Right.
Something got to bring me humor. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
I need something light in my life sometimes. You know what I mean? So, that's what that's how I look at it. There's a bit of branding yourself. Like, of course, my book has its own page and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a little bit of branding, but I take social media very lightly, you know, and that's just because of the space I'm in, you know.
Yeah, I totally get it. I mean, hey, you can follow me on whatever. Monday morning at 10 o'clock, I always say somebody get over here with some oxygen because Michael Irvin's getting ready to come on first take. And I know it's getting ready to be hilarious. Like, but you gotta have your space. I feel like every Monday about 10:30, I feel like I'm getting ready to OD off of Michael Irvin because I don't know what the hell he's talking about anymore.
That is funny. That is funny.
But then also we have a segment that I'm getting ready to go into. It's called I Be Damned. And it's how can I put it? It's basically I send out text messages to people and say, hey yo, can you send me one of your disaster dating stories? And people send me disaster dating stories, and at the end of it, you tell me what you would have done in this situation. So some of them go a little left, some of them go a little right, some of them come straight down the middle.
Wow.
And this one,
Man, I need to tell you my disaster dating story, which was the inspiration for me finishing this book. We don't even have time today, but I got to send you mine for I Be Damned.
okay, so we're gonna get into IB Dam, and this is coming from Raleigh, North Carolina. So I met this guy through a friend of mine. I thought he was cool. We exchanged numbers and continued to get to know each other. He invited me over for dinner one night, and I was rather excited. Why? Because I absolutely love a man in the kitchen.
Mm.
Put the finishing touches on my outfit and headed to his place for our dinner date. Once I arrived, the aroma of deliciousness permeated in the air. My stomach was brewing with excitement, and it didn't hurt that his home was very well decorated. Needless to say, I was impressed. Anyway, he invited me to have a seat in the living room while he finished preparing our meal. And as he walked to the kitchen, he did something totally shocking. He took off his shirt and stripped down to his wife beater, a tank top for those who don't know.
Right.
Normally, I wouldn't be bothered by a man removing his shirt, but there was one, well, two huge problems. This dude had titties. I mean, he had soft, supple, perky breasts. I blinked profusely as if his man boobs would magically disappear, but they didn't go away. I'm sobbing. I tried to suppress my shallowness and continue to enjoy our date as the best I could because dinner was so great and he was such a nice guy. But my eyes became fixated on those things. Once we finished dinner, we sat on the couch to watch TV. Yes, something to take my eyes off those titties. And then it happened. This dude grabbed my head and laid him on his chest. Ooh, oh my motherfucking goodness. What the fuck are you doing, man? I was so incredibly grossed out. Immediately sat up. It felt like I was laying on a lady. Yuck. I'm done. I really tried to give this guy a chance and continued to see him for about a month or so, but everything about him began to annoy me, and it was probably because I couldn't seem to overlook those tiggle bitties of his. Besides, my breasts are big enough to feed a small village, and I refuse to compete with a man in the cleavage department. Must be less shallow. I'm not looking for a bosom buddy. I be damned.
I don't even know what to say. To each his own, sis. To each his own. I understand.
And that's what happened. She said it's tiggle bitty. I said, oh Lord, what is going on? But hey, that's what she said. She couldn't fathom it. So how do you handle yourself in that situation?
Me? Oh wow. Yeah. Now there's levels to things. I always say that. That's my favorite line. It's levels. So it depends on how big, but the way she described it.
She said she had village feeders, and they were bigger than hers.
Yeah, that's a hard no for me. I gotta exit stage door left on that one. That's a hard no. I can't. Yeah, because you know what? In my world, for me, I love man. Okay, I love man, and so I need every aspect of that got to feel like a man.
Right.
I don't want to lay my head on your chest, and it feels like I'm a little girl laying my head on my mama's chest. You know what I'm saying? Like that is weird. Right. So it's a hard no for me. I'm sorry. I gotta agree with old girl.
Oh man, that was definitely that. But definitely make sure you pick up I'm Single, Not Sorry. It's a riotous, ballsy, heartwarming, enjoy story about one woman's path to discovering how to stay true to herself in the face of society's expectations and the pressures that women endure. And this is the author right here, Miss Payne. So if anybody wanted to talk to you or reach out to you, how could they reach out to you?
Instagram. My Instagram is I am Jennifer Payne. Also, the book's Instagram is I'm Single, Not Sorry. Facebook, I'm Single, Not Sorry. I check all my messages. I check all my DMs. So I do communicate, you know?
Yes, she does.
If we need to take it further than a DM, we can do that as well, you know, because I've had people say, hey, how can I really talk to you, get in contact with you? Because I have people who want to set up book reads and stuff like that. So yeah, but the first way to get in contact with me is social. I'm pretty active on social.
So when are you doing a book read like in the DMV, Virginia, Maryland, DC?
Don't know, but it will be soon. Don't know. I would say it probably won't be, as we're getting close to like Thanksgiving, the holidays and stuff like that. I'll probably pick that up at the beginning of the year.
Okay, so when you decide to do it, let us know. We'll bring a whole bunch of our HBCU followers out for you for support. The book is on Amazon. I had it up. Where did it go? The book is on Amazon for the Kindle, $9.95, paperback $6.95, and hardcover $24.95.
Paperback $16.95. You said $6.
Oh, $16.95.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading something else.
That's all right.
Yeah, but it's $9.95 and it's a good book. It's a very good book. I have to finish actually. I got sidetracked on other stuff, so I have to really finish the book to see what happened at the end. So
Oh yeah. So good. Well, thank you for having me on. This was very fun. This was enlightening.
Yeah, hey, this is
that's how we story. Man.
It's always I be damned at the end of every show. We had a Halloween special last year with I be damned that was an hour long. The Halloween show is next week, October 26th. I'll be with the host of Sarcasm and Orgasm. He'll be joining us again as we do that. But tomorrow, you got a double header this week on me. Tune in tomorrow where we'll be talking about dating after death.
Wow. Yeah.
We'll be talking about dating after death. I have a young lady coming on tomorrow. Her husband passed away, and she talked about how she started dating after he passed away.
That'll
be at 8 o'clock tomorrow.
That's an emotional one. So, okay. Yeah, double header. Relationships. It's a hot topic always.
Hey, we're loaded for the next few weeks with mental health, relationship, poetry, dating after death, Black love. Can a man? What is the title? Damn it! I just had it. Can a woman really talk to a man without yelling and hollering? It's something in that nature.
What's levels to that, depending on what he did?
No, it's just basically it's basically just breaking through to him without yelling and hollering.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
interesting.
Yeah, I can't remember that date. I got so many dates in my head, but I do know tomorrow at 8 p.m. we'll be back again with another I Be Damned and with dating after death tomorrow.
Okay. Awesome.
8:30, not 8 o'clock. It's 8:30.
8:30. Okay.
Same place, same channel tomorrow. Thank you again, Miss Payne, for coming out, sharing us your book. Hopefully we get a spinoff part 2. I'm alone but not lonely. Right. I want to be in the movie as a waiter or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. It's been awesome.
Definitely.
Take care.
And I would direct anybody that wants to come through advertising to you. I'll just give them your information.
Absolutely. Let me recite my email again. It's Jennifer.Payne. So Jennifer 2 N's 1 F .Payne Payne at TBWA CHIAT.com. And they can email me directly.
Do you take y'all take interns as well?
Yep, we have a program called Young Bloods, and it actually started Monday. What's today? Tuesday? Okay, yeah, yesterday. We have a Young Bloods program. It's a 10 weeks program, and all of our internships are paid. So right now, the Young Bloods is for those students who are interested, they're in creative.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can definitely send it out. I know a couple of, damn, this makes me feel old. I got a couple of homeboys whose children are juniors and seniors.
Oh yeah, me too. So yes, send them my way, especially if they're in creative. Please come my way.
I will. Thank you for joining us. I'm single.sorry.com. I'm single not sorry on Amazon.com. Tune in tomorrow for another Amsterdam Talk, 8:30 for dating after death. And another episode of I Be Damned. I'm Rod. I'll see you tomorrow at 8:30.
Bye.
Bye-bye.